The next topic is erythro and thrio diastereomers. The erythro and thrio are diastereomeric aldotetraos having two adjacent stereocenter. In case of erythros, the hydroxy group on its stereocenter are situated on the same side of the facial projection formula, while in case of thrios, the hydroxy group are situated on the opposite sides of the facial projections. So it is very much clear from these two structures. It is the example of aldotetraos and it will having two adjacent stereocenter at carbon number 2 and carbon number 3. Let us consider more example. If two similar groups on the stereocenter lying on the same side in facial projection, then they are called erythros isomer. If the two similar groups are on opposite sides in the facial projection, then it is called thrio isomer. So this one is the erythro 2,3-dihydroxybutanoic acid having hydroxy group on the same side, and this one is the thrio 2,3-dihydroxybutanoic acid having hydroxy group on the opposite sides. Similarly, this one is the erythro isomer and this one is the thrio isomers. Then experimental evidence of absolute configuration of aldos. In this, we can briefly discuss how these absolute configuration were established experimentally, starting with the knowledge of absolute configuration of 2 enantiomer of glyceraldehyde. So we already discussed in previous lecture. This one is the D-glyceraldehyde having hydroxy group on the right hand side, and this one is the L-glyceraldehyde having hydroxy group on the left hand side. So knowing the configuration of glyceraldehyde, the configuration of higher monosaccharide has been established by following these 3 points. The point number 1 said that a glyceraldehyde of known configuration is subjected to Kalyani-Fischer synthesis and it will give a pair of diastereomeric tetraos. In second step, the tetraos obtained in above step is converted into dicarboxylic acid by oxidation with concentrate nitric acid. The identification of these carboxylic acid, dicarboxylic acid, reveal the configuration of the tetraos. Then similarly, the configuration of pentos are established from the configuration of tetraos and so on. Let us first consider configuration of aldotetraos. This contains 2 dissimilar stereocenter and therefore exist in form of 4 optical isomer, 2 pair of enantiomers which are D and L erythros and D and L thrios. So let us see how their configuration are established. In this case, first D-glyceraldehyde is subjected to Kalyani-Fischer synthesis. It will give two diastereomeric tetros. The first one is the D-rithros and second one, that is D-thriose. So these two diastereomer having different configuration at carbon number 2. In case of D-erythros, the hydroxy group that is lying on the right hand side, and in case of D-thriose, the hydroxy group that is lying on the left hand side. It is evident that these two products differ in configuration only at the new chiral center created during the Kalyani-Fischer synthesis and have same configuration around the penultimate carbons. So this one is the penultimate carbon, that is the carbon number 3. What the question is, which of product is D-erythros and which is D-thriose? This problem was solved with the help of observation that D-erythros on oxidation with nitric acid give rise to mesotartic acids, while D-thriose on oxidation form and optically active tartic acids. So it is very much clear, if the D-erythros is subjected to oxidation, then oxidation will occur at these two centers and it will give this mesotartic acid, which is optically inactive due to the presence of plane of symmetry. While D-thriose is subjected to oxidation, the oxidation will occur at these two centers and it will give the optically active tartic acids. So it is the case of the D-glyceraldehyde. So knowing the configuration of D-erythros and D-thriose, the configuration of their respective L enantiomer can be easily written in the similar ways. So it is the case of the aldotetros. Next is the case of configuration of aldopentos. They contain 3 dissimilar stereocenter at carbon number 2, 3 and 4. Therefore 8 stereoisomeric form are possible in this case. They will have in total 4 pair of enantiomers, and these are D and L ribose, D and L rabinose, D and L xylose, and D and L lysose. So let us consider the configuration of the 4 pentos of D series. So first of all, D-erythros is subjected to Kalyani-Fischer synthesis. It will give 2 products. The one is D-ribose and another is D-rabinose. These two differ only in the configuration around the new stereocenter at carbon number 2. In case of D-ribose, it is on the right hand side, and in case of D-rabinose, it is on the left hand side, and rest of the configuration that is similar. Now D-rabinose is subjected to oxidation with nitric acid and it will give a meso dicarboxylic acids, and therefore this stereomer, it is represent D-ribose. Then similarly D-rabinose on oxidation give optically active acid, dicarboxylic acid, and it must be corresponding to D-arabinose. So it is the case of the D-erythrose. Then similarly, D-thriose, when subjected to Kiliani-Fisher synthesis, it will give two products, one of which is D-xylose and another is D-lysose. Their configuration were also settled on the basis of nitric acid oxidation. Since D-xylose on oxidation give a meso dicarboxylic acid, and it must be corresponding to this structure, and similarly D-lysose, which give an optically active acid, dicarboxylic acid, and it must be corresponding to this D-lysose. So knowing the configuration of D enantiomer, the configuration of L enantiomer can be easily established similarly. Next is the case of configuration of aldohexose. The aldohexose have 4 dissimilar stereocenter at carbon number 2, 3, 4 and 5 in their molecule, and therefore total 16 stereoisomeric form are possible. In this case, they will having total 8 pair of enantiomers, and all of them may be prepared from aldopentose, and their configuration can be established. So in this section we can only consider the configuration of D-glucose, and it is established from the D-arabinose. So let us consider it. In this case, D-arabinose, it is subjected to Kiliani-Fisher synthesis, and it will give a mixture of two aldohexose, one of which is D-glucose and another is D-mannose. These two aldohexose having different configuration at carbon number 2. In case of D-glucose, the hydroxy group that is on the right hand side, and in case of D-mannose, it is on the left hand side, and rest of the configuration that is similar. Now these two aldohexose, it is subjected to oxidation, and they give rise to two optically active dicarboxylic acids. So these are the two optically active dicarboxylic acids. Out of these two compounds, which is D-glucose and which is D-mannose, can be known if we can identify which acid is obtained from D-glucose and which is obtained from D-mannose. For this purpose, we make use of another aldohexose, that is L plus gulose. It is observed that D-gulose on oxidation gives same dicarboxylic acid as is obtained from D-glucose. This observation can be explained if D-gulose has the same configuration at the chiral center as D-glucose. So let us consider it. So this one is the D-glucose. When it is subjected to oxidation, the oxidation will occur at these two centers, and it will give rise to this dicarboxylic acids. Now this one is the case of L-gulose. Now this L-gulose, it is rotated 180 degree. So these two groups will get interchanged, and similarly these hydroxy group, they are also interchanged. So after 180-degree rotation, it will give this configuration, and now it is subjected to oxidation with nitric acid. It will give a similar dicarboxylic acids. So in case of oxidation of both glucose and glucose, give same dicarboxylic acid. So this is possible only if D-glucose has these structures. Now if we consider the case of the D-mannose, in this case dicarboxylic acid obtained from it cannot be formed from any other aldohexose. Even we can even interchange these two groups. So it is clear from this discussion that the actual structure of glucose that is represented by these formulas. So it is the absolute configuration of D plus glucose. Next is the epimers. These are commonly occurring sugar, differ from each other in their configuration only at single carbon atom, which may be carbon number 2 or carbon number 3 or carbon number 4. Such stereoisomers are called epimers. So let us consider the example of D plus glucose and D plus galactose. These two sugar will having different configuration at carbon number 4. In case of glucose, the hydroxy group that is on the right hand side, and in case of galactose, it is on the left hand side, and rest of the configuration that is similar in both the cases. If the number of carbon atom is not given, then it is taken to be carbon number 2. So in case of D-mannose and D-glucose, it will having different configuration at carbon number 2. In case of glucose, it is on the right hand side, and in case of mannose, it is on the left hand side, and rest of the configuration that is similar. So these two are C2 epimer having different configuration at carbon number 2. Similarly, these are C4 epimer having different configuration at carbon number 4. Next title is epimerization. It is the conversion of D-glucose into D-mannose. It is the process of converting a given saccharide into its epimer, and this process is called epimerization. So in this case, D-glucose, it is subjected to oxidation with bromine water. So first of all, it will give a mixture of epimeric acid, and it is gluconic acids and mannonic acids. Then this mixture is separate out, and in this case the mannonic acids, which is subjected to heat, and it can lose a water molecule, and there is a formation of this cyclic product which is called gamma mannolactones, and finally it will undergo reduction with sodium and amalgam. This bond can break out and it will give D-mannose. So it will having different configuration. At carbon number 2. So it is the apomerization involve the conversion of D-glucose into D-mannose.